Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for joining our waifu of light as she proceeds on through Shadowbringers level 75 dungeon Qitana Ravel. Once again, a straightforward dungeon with a few mechanics to look out for, but nothing insurmountable. Trust system works generally pretty well here, aside from the NPCs still not knowing how to use an AoE attack on a mob, but beyond that, no biggie. This is probably my favorite dungeon in Shadowbringers just because of the quasi-Aztec aesthetic. The music fits here really well too. I mean, I grew up listening to this kind of stuff as a kid, and I definitely recommend checking out the albums Apurimac 1 and 2, as well as Ancient Journeys by Cusco if you like this kind of stuff. I freaking love it. Only the first wave of trash packs really has anything unusual to note. Ronkin Dreamer will occasionally tether the statues on either side of them. Whichever ones are active, get on the other side of one of the stone barriers to avoid the line AoE. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary for the mobs here, so I'll be skipping over them and just dealing with the bosses. And the first boss is Lazatl, which I love as a name with the Aztec naming convention there. Lazatl has a couple of things to watch out for, but nothing to panic over. Stone Fist is the typical tank buster, so you should know what to do by now. Sun Toss is a ground AoE to stay out of, and Lazatl's Scorn is an arena-wide AoE for healers to deal with. This will activate one of two lamps in the area. Whichever side is lit up, get to the other side, since the other half is now going to be hit with a line AoE. Lazatl will charge up his fist with Heat Up, which you'll see by the fact that one half of his body is glowing red. He will then follow this up with Lazatl's Fury, where he Hulk smashes the ground. This will also affect half of the arena, so stay on the opposite side of whichever part of his body is lit up. These mechanics continue to repeat throughout the fight, however, he will combine Lazatl's Fury with the lamps, which ultimately leaves only 1/4 of the arena unscathed when the AoEs go off. Just keep an eye on which half of the room is safe and which side of his body is safe. Shouldn't be too difficult to manage, just keep hammering away at him until he's out. After clearing the second wave of trash, you'll take on Bat Squatch. He was originally just a regular Sasquatch, but then his parents were murdered by Sin Eaters outside of a movie theater, and he really never learned to cope properly. Bat Squatch has your typical moves that you expect by now. Ripper Fang is your good old tank buster, Soundwave is an arena-wide AoE. Subsonics does a couple of things. First, you'll notice that Bat Squatch decides to repeatedly pound the ground in what looks like a temper tantrum that would make Vothri proud. During this, not only is everyone taking repeated damage, but AoEs are also popping up all over the room, into which rocks are falling and out of which you should be running. Two large stalactites will fall out of the ceiling and embed themselves into the ground. On the next shockwave, the stalactites will fall in the direction they're facing, indicated by that little cutout at the bottom. Usually it's safe to just run to the opposite side of the room since they don't quite reach all the way across. Nothing else to see here beyond that. Just remember to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, and you'll be done with him before you know it. I'm not going to talk about trash here, I just wanted to comment on how gorgeous this forest/jungle is. I mean, this is some Uncharted level scenery with the ruins. Were it not for the Sin Eaters and the fact that this is a video game and thus not real life, I would love to go here in person. It's just flat out gorgeous. Now it's time to take on our next Light Warden, Kerberos, who is now wearing some cool Aztec masks and changed his name to Eros. It's not a phase, Mom. It's who he really is now. He's got mostly new tricks to deal with, him not being an old dog yet and all. Rend is a tank buster, to nobody's surprise. Hound Out of Heaven is a tether proximity attack. A random player will be selected and you need to get as far away as you can. So get ready to beat cheeks or bust a hump, whichever idiom you prefer. Glossolalia is an arena-wide AoE that does pretty significant damage, so get ready for that. The big one here to look out for is Viper's Poison. This will spawn several AoEs in the center of the arena. Large drops of poisonous ichor will fall from the sky and land here, thus limiting the safe zone pretty significantly. He will then use Inhale to bring the party into himself, followed by Heaving Breath. Heaving Breath is a knockback which will send you most of the way across the arena, specifically into the area with the poison. So get to one side of the arena or the other and hug the wall. You'll get blown into the center of the arena, but you'll be next to the poison instead of inside it. Viper Poison after this point will spawn the same AoEs, as well as targeting a player with an AoE marker. Either drop your AoE where the rest of the poison will fall, or one of the back corners. Just be sure not to get blown into it wherever you happen to drop it. Confession of Faith has two versions. The first is a split damage attack, so be sure to get together and group hug it out. The second is a flame attack that occurs directly in front of the boss. With this second one, he'll typically target two players with an AoE marker, so Just be careful not to stand on top of anyone else when it goes off. These mechanics repeat, and Fido will be getting neutered soon enough. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Shadowbringers and FF14 content. See you next time when we tackle the 77 dungeon, Malak as well.